Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another week. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. And man, I got an amazing guest for you guys today. And she gonna knock your socks off with some of the knowledge and some of the amazing stuff that she's gonna give to us today. We're gonna be talking about unmasking your brand, myths or BS. I don't have to tell you what the BS stand for. You all are grown out there. You understand. We are a global show. And without any further ado, I just want to welcome my amazing guests to the stage. Everybody that's watching us today with us, come and help me with welcoming Charlene to the show. What's up, Charlene?
Yes, I'm your co-host. But I know he's so ready, Carl ready to get in on this show
I'm ready to
today.
get in. I'm gonna get these little housekeeping tips out the way for all of y'all. You know the deal. We here every Tuesday and Thursday. You represent well as you always do. We appreciate you for coming out. Drop in where you're tuning in from. Also, drop in your questions. I know I say that every week, but you guys gonna have questions today because we're going over some things that you really need to understand. And I know we got all of these branding geniuses, gurus, whatever they call it, themselves, strategists, architects, all of the titles at the end. They give you
Mhm.
all this information about branding, but we're going to be unmasking some brand myths and BS. You know, I don't use those kind of words, guys. So we got the initials for you, but y'all all grown, so y'all understand where we coming from. Who we got today, Charlie? I got to bring her to the stage. This is the
Man, we
amazing
have
brand mama. I love that name.
we have Phyllis coming up, and when I
Yeah.
tell you, I met Phyllis on Clubhouse. I started stalking her because she was not only giving truth and facts, she was keeping it all the way 100. And to
Uh,
my heart, she cussed. And I love it because it's not just that you cussing, but you're doing
mhm,
it because there's literally sometimes there's just no other words. You just got to get it
mhm.
down to the fact, the bare none. And I love her for that. I love her for keeping things real. And it's all about making sure that you are you. That's what
Yes.
part of branding is. So I'm not going to get into the conversation. I'm not going to, I'm just going to bring her on so we can really get because she was about to give us a
Yeah,
whole class
I had to shut
backstage.
it down. I was like, hold up,
On in, Phyllis. What is
no, you need this
What's
juice for the
shaking, y'all?
network.
What's shaking? Oh
You
my
need it for the
goodness. I'm telling
network,
y'all,
y'all.
y'all talk about branding and I get hot and bothered. Like, I heard
Yes,
Carl
yeah,
talking about all these titles. Let's get into it.
yes. Because I mean,
Mm-mm.
man, I tell you, I look at it and I got a few on my network. It's no disrespect to you guys. I love everybody in my network, all almost 11,000 of y'all. But I tell you, I just saw a lot of titles behind brand, and I'm more confused now than I ever was. Because what is going on? Like it's strategists, it's architects, it's developers, it's gurus. It's like I think people just
Mhm.
going through the dictionary, just like, okay, this is a fit behind brand. I'm gonna put this on here. We're gonna go with it. But I
facts?
know that we're here today to talk about these myths and some of these great myths. And I know I had one. I'll begin mine off. I know I had one. I didn't know about branding personally. I didn't know about branding myself. I knew I worked for brands. I mean, I worked for Lockheed Martin. I worked for big name brands, and so I thought. So I put those together. Oh, brand must be what you do. So yeah, so I got the retarded card. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. The mental card for those out there. I got that card, and I had a few people tell me, "Yo, that's Brandon is you. Brandon is what you are, Brandon." And I started thinking about that. I was like, that kind of like makes no sense to me because I worked at these companies, and that's not who they were. They was just a part of them. So you set us straight, grandmother. Come on, set us straight. That's why you the grandmother. That's the real
Yeah.
deal
So
title right there.
yes, first tell the folks about you. Let them get to
Yes.
know why is this
Oh
such a
my
passion for you?
gosh.
Who are you? Who is Phyllis?
Oh my goodness. I am a former restaurant owner turned business coach turned brand strategist. So I do have that title behind me. I consume branding all day long. And I look at it now because when we started our business, it was named after my husband, Big Mister. So everybody knew Big Mister and they knew about us. I mean, we used to have Twitter fights, okay? They would follow Big Mister and Mrs. Mister, and we'd have Twitter fights and all of these things. But I should never have owned a restaurant. I don't even cook on purpose, not even for my child. But I ended up owning two restaurants with my husband. And what ended up happening is that because our personality and because we were so involved in our business and our brand, which we didn't even recognize back then, it was hard for us to hire people that resonated with that. Too many people hired to fill a skill set and not to fit the culture. And that is becoming a very big thing. And you have to understand that you are not your brand. I will fight anybody who says they are their brand, because you're not. You're a representation of it. And if you're going to grow and scale, you have to learn to represent well with everybody that you partner with, collaborate with, and with when you hire. And it's all of these different things that people need to understand about their brand. And who do you want representing it? If your brand is supposed to be humorous, why am I looking at this sourpuss over here? Oh, if any government entity, y'all look at them. All of them look like they mad to be at work. Government has no brand other than to be sideways crazy. And it's
Oh.
all of the things. If you guys don't think that Donald Trump didn't have a brand, dude was branded all up and through. And you didn't have to like it, but you knew who he was on every other level that was even possible outside of the presidency. So you have to recognize. I think that's why a lot of people get it confused that I am my brand. No, sweetie, you walking around making a name for yourself. You are not your brand. You are just a representation of something that you're trying to build. He was trying to build things. You're trying to build things. What are you trying to build, and how are you trying to represent it? And just understand that at some point you have to turn that off. And that was something else that we found out when we were trying to not be Big Mister and Mrs. Mister. We'd be out somewhere. We're at the grocery store. Hey, Big Mister. Like, really? Mrs. Mister, it's not, sweetie. I'm just Phyllis right now, or either I'm Morgan's mom, or I'm. You have to turn it off. And I found out, like, even when we would go home, me and my husband, it's hard to turn that off. You stay in there all day, every day, trying to this thing. And so people always think they can come at you. Oh, I have a branding question. That's so good, but I got a drink and a cigar in my hand right now. I'm not trying to answer any branding questions. So it's just understanding that you represent your brand. And I know a lot of people, like I said, if they're out here chasing money, oh yeah, sweetie, I got time for a question, because they're trying to make that next sale. No, I'm trying to sit down and have a drink with my husband and not be bothered. Let me turn it off. So, yes, that's my one of my brand babies down there. But
Yes.
come on, what you got for me, Carl? What you thinking about your
I
brand?
no, man, I'm just like no, I can you talk, so I just start learning how to use the keyboard. Um,
Well, I'm sure you go back and watch the
I'm doing
recording.
that, but I'm saying, look, you got me trying to do about three, four things. I normally just host and listen, but look, when you talk about when you talk about your brand, right? When you were saying that, it
Mm-hmm.
came to my mind of how I had a friend that was fortunate to be doing commercials when we were little, right? And when he tried, like when we was in high school, he was doing like the little nation commercials at Chicago, and he wanted to be an actor, but he wanted to be in school too. So he was in the drama and all this thing. But when he was doing the commercials, he had a couple of commercials that was pretty big in Chicago. And when he
Okay.
tried after he graduated and he tried to like go off into acting, everybody wanted to remember him as the kid, like a freshman in sophomore high school, doing those commercials. And he had a
Yep.
real hard time of trying to change that image of him
That brand image. Yes.
and that brand image, because everybody was still trying to catch that lightning in a bottle, which he did. And he's now 19, 20 years old. He's not that 13, 14-year old no more. So sometimes do we fall in that kind of category as well, that we get caught up in maybe even some of the successes that we've had in corporate, and then we try to brand those and make those us when we go into our entrepreneur, our solopreneur kind of attitudes. Are those kind of like a similar trials in which we fall into?
It is, because a lot of people believe that, you know what, let me build my brand around the people. But the way I help people brand, especially
Mm-hmm.
brand authentically, sweetie, let's build it around you so that you attract the people that like whatever it is you're bringing to the table. You get to bring your personality, because you're the business owner. You get to bring all that flavor to the game. And once you bring it, then everybody else has to follow that. And you still, there's still so much more to you, because like people think that, oh well, I have several business. I'm a serial entrepreneur, but ain't none of them making you no money.
Mhm.
Stop that foolishness. Oh my
Yes.
God. But
Yes.
you sit here and you said you left your corporate job because of this reason. But then you end up being a corporate employee to your own business, because you're trying to chase sales. You're not making the money that you want to, because you're not talking to the people that you need to. And so you end up having to figure out, like, okay, how do I increase sales? And you go after people, oh, let me learn these 10 tricks, let me learn these 5 tips. And it's, sweet, that's just making you crazy. when all you need to do is back up and brand from the heart. Start with your branded heart and understand that that's your purpose, mission, vision, and values. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's just statements on a website. For a corporate company, yes, it is. When they have no other thing than to hold it down for the shareholders. But when you
Mm-hmm.
know how to use those things and how they need to show up in your brand and how you use it to market yourself, those are the things that you bring to the table. And to me, small business can kick big business butt all day, every day, because they can brand from the heart a whole lot better. It's when you start chasing clout and money and all the things, sweetie, you fake as hell. You see all of these influencers, you see the athletes and the celebrities. Yes, they have a big enough name where they are a brand. Jordans are on the side of his tennis shoes, and whoever else got a name on something. Those are celebrities. If you're not at celebrity status yet, baby, you are not a brand. And even at that, like I said, you're always on when somebody comes. Yeah, I saw an interview way back when with Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, and Chick was trying to sit down and have her dinner with her husband, and people come up with cameras and can I have an autograph? She
Yeah.
said no. Don't you see me eating? And so you have to realize that you have to turn that brand stuff off. Leave it wherever you picked it up at and go and have a life. Stop trying
Mm-hmm.
to chase everything and let the money chase you. Because if your brand is on point, that's what's going to happen. People are trying to figure out, like, how do I increase sales? Baby, if you brand it right, trust and believe the money's going to come. Because people are going to start to recognize you for the value that you have. And you don't have to give the discounts. You don't have to give the coupons. You don't have to give all of your stuff for free. Stop that foolishness. But I think I went all the way around your question. But yes, we
No,
fall
no,
into
no.
that
You
corporate
got you,
trap.
Leia, you got it
Yeah,
all. You got it all. You
yeah.
got it all.
But we
Most of
fall
the
into
time,
that
I
corporate.
repeat.
We fall into that corporate trap because we think that's who we're supposed to be. We're trying to serve the same crowd that we knew when we had our jobs. And it's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
sweetie, that doesn't fit you. That does not feel right. You left for a reason. I had a client, she's an ethical strategist now. I don't know if that's a new thing. It's a new thing for her. I have not seen it anywhere, but we were working on her brand. And so Cass is now an ethical strategist. Okay, how do you brand an ethical strategist? She gets to set the tone and the pace for it because nobody else is doing it. She gets to create that brand. And then people will follow her and they'll try to copy and they'll try to do all the things instead of figuring out, how can I be an ethical strategist on my level, on my terms. And that's what branding is, doing it on your terms, showing up how you want your reputation to represent you. Whenever you go out, your brand is your reputation. I tell people your brand is your who, your business is your do. Don't let your brand write a check your business can't cash because you're constantly doing stuff and you're trying to change and you're trying to grow, but you're not doing it on a level that's comfortable for you. Stop trying to fall back into that corporate trick grab. This is why I get so happy when I see entrepreneurs come straight out of school and go straight to entrepreneurship instead of getting a job because they don't have all that red tape mindset that so many of us are trying to get rid of. But being a brand, sweetie, you are not your brand. You are a representation of your brand. And you need to understand that and stop chasing money. And then let your brand do the work and let it bring the money to you. Trust and believe. It happens all day, every day.
Yeah,
So,
it's man, this the knowledge the gems is dropping. I always put gems will be dropping as my posts when I talk about my guests. But I mean, I've got some diamonds in the rough coming out here. Y'all ain't even got to shine them Jones. They already shine for you if you listen. But you
Yes,
talk
and
about man. Go ahead, Charlene. I'm just
because
excited. I'm hyped up.
when I first heard you say, when I first heard you tell people, don't allow your brand to write a check your business can't cash. I
mm-hmm.
thought that was so prevalent to what I've been noticing a lot because you have people who have $5 brands, but they want to act like they're running a $5,000 business. But how can that be if you're not really putting the effort in? So it's almost like you have to really sit down, think about it. That's basically what you're telling people. Think about how you're resonating and how do you want people to deal with you moving forward from this time to for whatever. And I think that's where a lot of people have been missing it. I know for me, when I started watching people launch websites, they were just doing this to do it. And it's the same thing into the brand. I'm going to call myself a brand to call myself that and then make more money, but they're not connecting the dots. How do you
Nice.
get people to really connect? Sit your butt down and
Oh
connect the
wow.
dots. How do we do that?
Let's put in the work. Yes. And what I take people through, how whether they're doing whether I'm doing a group or individual, people don't realize how much work it actually is to build a brand. They think that, you know what, how about this? How about that? And it's like, okay, how about it? What do you think
Mhm.
about it? Well, I saw
Right.
so and so do it. Really? Does that work for you? Well, no, that's not what I do, but that's how I'm gonna make my money. Then, sweetie, go over there and make your money because I'm not the one for you. So
Mhm.
is understanding that like I said, when we're talking about purpose, vision, mission, and values, and you bring that to the forefront, now we got to figure out your positioning because we have to look at your audience. And for you guys that don't know how to find your audience, if you don't understand how to look for them, because sweetie, like, I don't know who my target audience is. Sweetie, tell me. First, I want to know. I want to know how you're niching. And I hate that word because I want to say niche or niche, and it's just words the hell
Yeah,
out of me.
it's French and it's French or something
Who are your
taking up too
But
people?
much
Who are
time.
your
when you
people?
talk about niching, when when you talk about niching yourself, recognize if you're going to go horizontal or vertical. First of all,
Mhm.
if you're going to go vertical, that means you're going to go into an industry. Like I can niche all the way down to branding just barbecue restaurants because I had a barbecue restaurant. I can speak barbecue. I am a certified business coach. I have 4 different business coach certifications, but is and so I can take it all the way to that degree, or I can leave it as wide as I just want to work in the food and beverage industry, or I can make it even wider and say hospitality. But the smaller you go, the more people are checking for you. The only people that will be checking for me are barbecue restaurants that want to get branded. So they're going to throw money at me all day, every day because they know I know how to pimp that game. I tell everybody, I used to pimp my husband out. Come on, Fresh and Easy. Was a spokesperson for 3 years. They went from I don't know if I could talk about it since they're not here anymore, but trust and believe they went from paying him four digits the first year to mid 5 figures the second year
Mhm.
because his brand was represented and because like I said he did his thing. But when we're out here and we're talking about those things, when you take all of that brand heart, purpose, vision, mission, and values, and then you bring it to your positioning to find your audience, find out which way you're going to niche. Are you going to go horizontal? Now understand, if you're going horizontal, then you pimping your game based on your expertise or your knowledge. So you're saying, you know what, I'm the only one doing this because I'm the expert at that. That is your
Mm,
niche. But if you're going to go vertical, saying I'm going to stick with this industry because I know this industry, because I can narrow it all the way down to I'm the expert at this. So now you're going vertical and horizontal. So know which way you're going to niche, and it makes your life a whole lot easier. Okay, sis,
oh
I'm
man.
having a
See.
connection problem. But so when you do that and you bring that into your positioning, now it's easier for you to go find your audience because you know which way you're going to go. So you find your audience by stalking your I call them your frenemies, baby. Don't you have no competition, you have frenemies. Those people are trying to tell you to get in where you fit in. They're trying to help you understand that you know what? I see what you're doing good and I see what you're doing bad. I can fill that gap, but I can't fill that one. Oh, you are hot right there, but you suck over here. And you get to look at all of your competition and pick and choose and see where you fit into that. That's where your positioning comes in. And you have to look at them objectively, not looking at them like, oh, I want to be them. No, you look at them to see where you fit in the industry. You get your position together so that you're not
Mm.
out here trying to say, oh, well, I can serve any and everybody. That's some raggedy foolishness. So once you have your heart, then you have your position. Now you're gonna go over here and express yourself because you got to learn your language. How are you gonna speak? I tell everybody I'm ghetto country. I was raised hood adjacent by a country mama. That means they're gonna fall out my mouth at some point. So let me go ahead and build it into my brand. It is all baked up and through here. So knowing that you know what, this is how I speak. This is how I get down. This is what my clients hear. I'm straight OG. I'm gonna go way back there. I'm gonna be an OG with mine, okay? And so people knowing that, people that want to vibe with that, those are the people that will come to me. Everybody's not gonna like me, and I really don't give a flying fig because I'm only checking for the people that do. I want to know my haters so I can know how to make you hate me more. Because the more you hate me, the more you're gonna talk about me, and you're gonna talk about me to folks like, oh, you may not like her, but I like her. Let me go see what she doing. So
Mhm.
you want to take up a position where you are going to have haters and you're going to get a thick skin because if your brand is representing well, when you have values within your brand and say, oh well, my company doesn't do business with this or my company doesn't do business for that, then people are going to, you know what? Oh, you just ain't offer her enough money. I tell people, be honest. What is your PIMA fee? And for PIMA, excuse my language, but PIMA stands for pain in my ass. How much money do they have to pay you for you to put up with something? And if that is if it does not compromise your values, then baby, go make your money. Go charge your extra to do all the things. But do not compromise your brand. Do not compromise your reputation. Because that's why all of these companies end up going out of business for one reason or another, because somebody put them on blast on Twitter, because somebody took because you were not living up to the brand that you said you were. You're saying that, you know what, you're like I said, your brand's writing a check, your business can't cash. And you said your brand is all about customer. I hate this one. Quality and customer service.
Oh,
Sweetie, I need you to
gee.
break that down for me. What does
Yeah.
quality mean? What does it look like? Customer service, really?
Oh,
Did
don't
you
even
not see
start
how
me
your
on that.
people were serving you?
Mm.
And that is just the easy punk way out. Quality and customer service. That's nothing. Those are just buzzwords and BS. There you go. That is
Mhm.
straight BS. And so you need to understand what it is when your brand comes out here. So you're going to get your brand at heart. And like I say, then you got to come with the space. Your space is all about your positioning. Then you got to learn your speak. You got to learn to speak the language of your brand. If your brand was a person, how's she gonna step out, or how was he gonna step out? Is he suited and booted? Is he casual? All the things. Does he wear his hat tilted to the side, or is he just, you know what? Let me pull the brim down over my eyes. Are they all about the sneakers? How comfortable is your brand? Because if your brand is comfortable, then why are you trying to go after the suited and booted tribe? They're not your people. If you're not going to be that person, then sweetie, if all of your brand is all tatted up, then why are you chasing people that are not? It's
Mhm.
not saying that people are not going to be checking for you when they hear you. Because like I say, I've been approached by people that don't know what I do. I just want to spend money with you. You're gonna do something for me. Okay, fine. But the thing about it is, when you niche down, when you sit here and you understand that, you know what, I'm over here in this pocket right here. You have so much more influence when you hit that pocket, because people understand that, you know what, they have been doing this way all this time, and they've been bringing value to the game. And so everybody outside of that pocket is still hearing you because you're so focused on this right here. Because you got that heart, you got that position, and you got that voice. Come on, bring it to me. Take my money.
That's it. You was killing it. And you hit on, man. You hit on so much. Like my little mind is like I got cogs and they stay rolling even when I'm sleeping. They just
Because
rolling
I'm
at
over
the
here
top
trying
of
to book
my
my
head.
appointment with Phyllis. I'm like, hold
Yeah,
on, let me
I'm
get my
just
appointment
it's
put
like
together.
like I'm seeing so many stuff, so much stuff that you're saying. It just truly definitely resonate. I know it resonated with the audience. I'm just watching the comments just come in and roll
Because
in, and
Ebony is putting it in there. Yes,
yeah,
contact
that's
Phyllis.
yes. I like that with that Bret Hart. I like that equation
Yes.
because I'm an equation man, and you brought something that I really want to touch on, and I really love what you brought on because you put out those definitions and you put out those understandings of that horizontal and that vertical. And I had not heard anyone talk about it like you have, but some gentleman
Mhm.
talked to me about that maybe about 3 or 4 years ago and kind of gave me a thing on that, how you want to come in. Cause I talked to him about consulting and me and him had a long conversation. And I think I told Charlene about it yesterday, my man Joseph. And he talked about, everybody's consultant, so he's like, your niche. I was like, your niche got to be real defined. He was like, what have you been doing all your corporate life, right? And the only thing I could think about was I always talked about embracing your vulnerability. And he was like, well, that's what you dive into. He's like, because it's 50 trillion million coaches, it's 50 trillion million consultants. He said, I can guarantee you, if you do your homework, you don't see none talking about vulnerability. And
Mhm.
true enough, when I got to, I didn't see nobody but Brene Brown. Nobody. I mean, nobody was saying, like, everybody would hit it here and there with a little bit, but it wasn't a focus. And everybody would say, well, you need this to be authentic, or you need vulnerability to be this. They would tag it with something, but they didn't use it as
Mhm.
the outline. And how important is that once you find that to dive into that? Because it took me a little time because I didn't buy in. I bought into it because it's what I did, but I didn't think that I could present it. And you said something about bringing that and going to that audience. And that's, man, if y'all not paying attention, man, I'm telling you, my mind blown up. If you tattoo, stop going to corporate trying to get them guys to, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just talk, Phyllis. Just talk. I can't talk.
And you're so right, because I remember starting out, I was doing websites and designs, and I didn't want to just be in a suit, but at that time, almost what, 20 something years ago, you had to get in a, that was the norm, right? Get in a little jacket, get in a suit, take your photo, take your headshot, like almost like you're doing your high school pictures all over again. And it didn't feel right. Even now, like I feel more comfortable because I just did a shoot, and it was more comfortable because I was in boots. I was sitting down on the ground. I had like trees behind me. I was in a park. I felt relaxed. I felt comfortable. And I didn't have to feel like I'm in a suit trying to appeal to people that I might not even work with. So when it comes to that, like I know also for a lot of people, they just hear, "Oh, let me just sit down and get my brand together. Let me see what my authentic voice is." Really, how long does it truly take for somebody to nail how they are talking to their audience, to really connect the pieces on how they're going to get their message across without feeling fake?
It is a growing and maturing process, believe it or not. People think that you have to understand that there's a difference between branding and branded. When you're branding, you are building brand awareness, you're building up your brand equity, you're building up your brand reputation. It is once you reach the branded stage that you now are all about the nurture. So understand that when you start your brand, when you get over here and you say, okay, this is where I'm gonna start from. I'm gonna start from my heart. What part of my heart am I gonna bring to the table that's best for the brand that I'm trying to build? It's not saying that you have to lay all of it on the table. So for me, let me think back. For me, it has taken me like maybe 4 or 5 iterations to get to the brand that I want. So it
Mhm.
is not just a one and done. Like my current intensive, and my intensives are only 5 people. I only take 5 people, and I take them through a 12-week process. And it's all about, give me all of the quantity, and then we build up the quality. And just know that even after this 12 weeks, you're gonna go back and look at, let me tweak this just a little bit more. Now it's easier to build your brand voice. Like I say, mine's is ghetto country all up and through. And if you see my website, yes, there's cuss words right on the front page. It's like stop the effery and all of this kind of stuff. Because
Right.
it is all about me being authentic to myself. And if my front page shocks you, then sweetie, I might shock you. When my clients are sitting in the intensive, and it's one has a child over here, the other one's smoking a joint over there, and it's all the things. And so that is how I built my brand. But it took like 4 or 5 iterations for me to get to that point. And
Mhm.
is so if I take you through 12 weeks, just know that this is the 12 weeks that you're going to build on, because your strategy is going to change. When you talk about your vision may only be 2 years out. My brand vision for the next 2 years is I'm gonna help 100 people do this, that, and the other while I do this, this, and this. And
Mhm.
that's your 2 year vision. And so what is the strategy to get to that? And so as you're taking that journey and you're about 3 months in, it's like, okay, now I'm recognizing that the clients that I'm pulling in are this, and these are the people that are drawn to me. So now your avatar might change a little bit. The your audience persona may change a little bit. And so
Right.
now you start to pick up the language that they are speaking, and it's part of your language as well. So it comes out of you naturally, and it just flows. And
Mhm.
so you have that piece where now you start to tweak that, and you're able to better market yourself. You're better able to target because of that little tweak, because now more people are checking for it. And so now you're getting closer. Now you're at that 6 month mark, and you're realizing that you don't need this product anymore. So why are you still pitching something that's only making you chump change? You don't need I get tired of restaurants that have you. Why am I turning pages on your menu? That's just a whole lot of waste in the back of the house. I know this
I,
because I had a
yeah,
restaurant.
talk that restaurant because I know about that.
Yes,
That's wasting inventory.
yes,
Yes.
for real. But
Yes.
it takes you some iterations before you get to the point like, yeah, this is where I'm gonna sit right here for like the next 10 years. The only reason you should start to think about a rebrand, because I see people, oh well, I'm rebranding. Sweetie, you only been in business for 2 years. You never had a brand, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all
But
right. That's all right.
True. It's true.
It's the
it's true.
truth.
But
Uh,
it's the only reason you need to rebrand is if you're repositioning yourself. Or you know what, you decided that you don't want to serve this population anymore, so you now you focus in even more. Or you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to offer this service anymore, so you tweak it even more. So you be that is the only reason you need to reposition yourself. And the other reason is, sweetie, if your customer base is dying off, then you need to go back and get a younger crowd. Now if you're going to die off with the crowd that you came with, then go ahead and do that. Ride it till the wheels fall off. But just know that your population is aging. And if you're not trying to serve a younger demographic, then they're not checking for you either. So why are you mad about your sales going down? Are you thinking about retiring? Because I tell anybody, when I was a business coach, sweetie, if you start a business, you need to know how you're going to get out of your business. Are you going to ride it till the wheels fall off? Are you going to sell it? Are the kids going to want it? How are you getting out of this nonsense? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't plan for the get out. Oh, I'm just gonna start my business. Like, dang, I ain't saved no money in all these years. I done had this business. I done put my kids through college. I done put this over here. I ain't got no money. And that's why you see so many raggedy ass restaurants. Because they never put aside the money.
Right.
They have to continue working. People are old and bent over and all of these things.
And
But
I can't get
that
my food
restaurant,
on time
I can't.
because they old in there.
Thank you. Oh my God. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna be as old as you by the time I get my dinner, right?
Yeah.
But they
Oh
can't
man.
quit because they didn't put any money to the side. They can't quit because they're not branding to the next generation. And that's why you see this generation coming along, they're going to ghost kitchens. They want you to drop their food at their door. They want you to do all the things to make it convenient for them. Whether you send me my groceries or you send me my meal.
Mhm.
How are you gonna get at them? Sweetie, if
Mm-hmm.
you're not on social media checking for a younger crowd, because now they done moved away from here and they're going over to Twitch. How you showing up on Twitch? How are
True.
you showing up on what's the one my daughter does? Something with a D. I don't know. Discord. They're showing up on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
How are you gonna show up over there with your old behind? Come on now.
And it's
Are you
Wow.
still?
always
Go ahead,
and it's
sweetie. Go ahead.
because you're definitely hitting on a lot of it, and I love that you start with the strategy. Like what is the plan? What's your game plan? And I think people hear the word strategy and they get scared, or I don't know what it is, but they just not sitting down to plan. And even when they come to do a website, they have no strategy. They have no game plan because they had no business plan. They had no branding plan. So they didn't even have a marketing plan. So you're creating all these other aspects, all these other avenues with no way to get people to pay attention
Mm-hmm.
to you, which is traffic. That's what traffic is, getting people to pay attention to you and
Yes.
then selling to them, which is the marketing
Yes.
part. So it's like everything I feel starts with the business, then goes to the branding, then goes to the website and the marketing, because that's all a stepping stone to getting you all the money that you're looking for, right? So I wanted to ask you, when it comes to really sitting down to think about what the branding should be, when does trademarking and copywriting, when do those things start to kick in, and when should people keep that in mind when they're creating their branding?
When you're talking about a trademark, unless you're doing something that is just so amazing that you plan to take global, I don't even know why folks is worried about a trademark. Now I did trademark Ghetto Country Grandmother, and I'm probably gonna have an issue with another grandmother that's out there. There's a couple out there, and that's fine. But I'm not checking for their clients, and hopefully my clients aren't checking for them. And so if you want to hate on me for registering mine, it's just like when I decided to trademark Brand Baby, sweetie, I trademarked that because no one else was using it. And it's like if you do, I'm not gonna fight you for it, but I want you to know I'm the one that coined the phrase. I'm the one that got it first, and so
Mm,
forth. I'm not gonna be chasing you down. So if you're not ready for the fight of defending your trademark, sweetie, don't waste your time.
fact.
Don't waste your time. And I can go out and I can trademark CKO Creator. I started saying Ghetto Country Grandmother, and I finally went to go buy the domain. Why somebody buy the domain and trying to charge me $2,000 to get it? I'm like, please. I bought .net. I bought something else. You go on and keep it. Have fun with it, because you can never do anything else with it now.
Yeah,
What
we
good
had
does
that
it do
issue
you?
there. We had that issue
Yes.
with real.
Mm.
What was it? Real talk. We was gonna do the
Yeah,
real talk. Dot.
realtalk.com. We were like,
It was.
what?
It
It
was
was
like
like
a
nine
hundred
thousand.
G's. Was it? No, I
Nah,
think it was a ten.
it was, yeah, it was like
Like
nine
a ten
thousand.
thousand or something like that for that. I was like, yeah, okay. You
Like,
can have it. You can be real talk all day long.
All day, all up and through. Oh
yes,
my
I love
goodness.
that. Like it, and it really gets to the point of, like you said, people jump the gun. So as they're doing all these things, they're making all these T-shirts, they're doing everything in their power, and then they're telling everybody they're rebranding. So that's
Yeah.
like, stop putting money into ideas
They're
without
putting it
you
into
pushing it
individuals.
forward. Yes, get your vision together.
Yes.
Get what is your heart? What is your brand heart? Get it all.
Yes.
Get that whole
Get it
equation
all
in
together.
mind.
And I think even in starting businesses, I think a lot of times, and man, I've gotten so much collective knowledge from talking to people in the aspect of business. And because I now that I talk to so many, I got so many connections and so many people I talk to, I get so many ideas and questions to ask people. And I think a lot of times we start stuff, and I know that I did in the beginning. And man, I went through education this past almost 2 years now of really understanding who Carl is, what Carl presents, what Carl represents, and how Carl will get that to you. And when we started the business, my main focus of the business, I don't even think. Well, I had a strategy, I had a vision, I had those kind of things wrote down because I'm from the old school. You used to have to have a plan, a business plan for you go, go to a bank and get a bank account. Now you could open up IG with 10,000 followers and they'll give you the world just about, and you ain't work for nothing. So I kind of had that old school thing where I had my business plan and stuff to present, but I didn't know how to like present that. And I was like, okay, my business is gonna be what Carl could do. And I think a lot of people go into it with like, I don't have no brand strategy because I'm just going by what I can do or what I can offer. How do we get that clarity with that? I know you mentioned a lot of tips on there, but just for the novice ones out there who maybe haven't put their foot in the water to start their businesses, how can they get out on the right foot with those things that's going on where people can say, okay, this is the path you're going to need to take for you to get established.
Okay. So if you're deciding that you're going to start a business, start branding as soon as you make that decision.
Okay.
Start putting it out there and creating that brand awareness right away. A lot of people, it's just like being an author. People think that, okay, my book is done, now let me market it. No, you should have been marketing it 6 months before the book dropped.
Hmm.
And so that it's the same thing with any business that you're going to build. You start building your brand awareness right then and there when you have the idea. Tell people, I have an idea. You don't have to give them all the particulars so somebody can go out and steal it, some shady person or doing whatever. But you don't have to go out there and tell them everything. But you know what, you guys, I have an idea. I want you, and you start telling your journey. And so now they become part of the story. They become vested. And even if they don't need what you have or want what you have, sweetie, they know your whole story and they go out and they become your brand ambassadors unintentionally. I've been watching this
Hmm.
dude grow and he's been blowing up. Oh, you should have saw when he dropped his product or his service or whatever. It was all the things. It was all the business. If you're going to do it, then you start your strategy from day one. When that idea pops in your head and you know it's going to make you some money, sweetie, start branding it. Because as you brand and as you continue to make that awareness, as you put your strategy together, you're going to know if folks is checking for it or not. And then if you should pivot, turn, do whatever. Why wait until you put in all this blood, sweat, and tears? Just plop it down because people don't know how to launch their products or services. They just plop it down and say, here, buy this. And now we have the problem with like, how am I going to sell this? I don't know how to sell. I don't like to sell. I'm introverted. I don't want to talk to y'all. I don't even like people. So it's like,
See, talk about you.
Hey, I'm talking about myself. Like, I don't even like you like that.
Oh,
My friend circle is about this tight.
oh man.
But you have to create that awareness from the very beginning. When you decide that you're going to do something, give yourself 6 to 9 months to create all that brand awareness. But so many people, they want to start making money right away. And so they get out here, and that's why they run out and they get what I call the buzzwords, the colors, and the BS. And it's like, oh, I have a brand. Sweetie, you really don't. And now you're struggling to have sales. And now you're on Clubhouse jumping in $1 million rooms and you haven't even made $1,000. Come on, sweetheart. Because
Facts.
how they're making their money now, they don't even remember how they made their first thousand. They know how they making millions. So it doesn't fit you right now. I'm not saying you're not going to get to that level, but baby, start over here and
Mhm.
grow. Stop trying to bypass all of the hard work of time and patience because that's what it's going to take you.
Yes.
If you don't have the time and the patience, then you need to go get a job. If it's all about the money, you need to go get a better paying job. But stop trying to act like, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build this business, and nobody's checking for you. All you hearing is crickets on your website. There's a reason for that. I don't know you. I don't even know if I like you. And that whole no like and trust, y'all stop saying that foolishness too. Because if you're doing the right thing, if your brand is on point, folks gonna like you anyway. The right folks is gonna like you.
Mhm.
Everybody's not gonna be checking for you, and the ones that's not, sweetie, let them hate. Share the hate. Like, oh, look what they said about me. Because
Oh
the
yeah.
more you pull it out there, it gives you something to talk about. And
Mhm.
see, and this is why these people will never have what I have, because they're hating on me for this. Probably sitting in their mama's basement, smoking a joint, waiting on their DoorDash order. Shut up.
You you put the whole basement on blast.
Yes, yes. Not the mama's basement. Not the mama's basement. Don't talk.
My
Look,
mama
Phyllis. Don't talk.
basement.
Don't talk about my first apartment, Phyllis. Don't talk about my first apartment.
But because and you hit something that I wanted to touch on a bit is when you're branding or when you claim that you're branding, you just want to get that quick money, that quick fix, but then you're not listening to the audience. You're not listening to the people who's going to help you carry that idea of who you're supposed to be, because that's part of what the branding is also, is to make sure that you tell people who you are, so then they can start not only resonating with you but help share the word about who you are. And if you can't really nail that down, then what's the point? So
And
how can they really get that? Yeah.
the thing about it is, everybody has a brand, believe it or not. It's just a matter of whether you control the narrative of the brand or you allow the audience to create your brand. Because people will come along and they'll tell you, oh, well, you should do this. Oh, well, you should serve that. Oh, well, you should offer this. And they'll give you all these different things because it fits them. And
Mm,
usually it's people who aren't entrepreneurs, no shade to the folks that's paying us, but usually it's folks that aren't entrepreneurs trying to give you all of this advice. And so your brand is being built on, you know what, well, she asked for this and she asked for that. So now you have 20 million things, and it's like, okay, this one makes a dollar and that one makes a dollar, when you could have taken all of that energy, put it into two things, and made $20 off of one thing instead of a dollar here and a dollar there. And so when you're trying to brand, if you want to build a brand, stop listening to everybody.
Mhm.
mm,
Stop taking, because you're the one that's supposed to be controlling the narrative. Because believe it or not, your brand is all up here for everybody that you come in contact with. It is not what you put on paper. It is not in the social media posts that you create. It's in how people perceive that information. That's where the brand lies, in between somebody's two ears. It does not lie with you. But when you're creating a brand, you get to control the narrative and build a reputation. Be known for this, be known for that. Let me make sure that I put it out here that this is what I do and this is what I do well. This is how I get down, and I get down to the utmost. So when you're putting it out there that way, you're controlling the narrative. But the brand still lives in their brain. And
mhm.
so if you don't allow all of the other stuff of people telling you that, are people who tell you like, well, no, I'm gonna do it my way, sweetie, then just believe that's the brand you're gonna have. Doing it your way. That's how you're gonna show up, doing it your way. And that's all fine and good. But they want it that way. Okay, if they want it that way, and you're not serving them. Don't be mad when they're not spending money. I hate that people are always talking about my family doesn't support me, because your family don't want what you got. They never did. Why should they support you? I'm selling hair and my family won't buy nothing. They all bald. Stop trying to sell them hair. Okay, for real, for real. They don't
That
want it. And so it's not that your family is not trying to support you, sweetie. They just don't want what you're trying to provide. And you have to get out of that mode, because you're using them as a safety net. Yes, they
Mhm.
can go and share your post. Yes, they can go and share whatever it is you're doing. But if they're not, you still need to know how to market yourself. Expecting people to support you? No, that's not what they're there for. You have to market yourself. You have to make yourself marketable. I tell everybody, I don't care if you're being an asshole. Make it pop. You know what? Make you some money.
right.
There are people out here arrogant as all get out. You can sell arrogance, because some people are checking for it because they
Yes.
want to show off their arrogance.
Because look
You
at
can brand.
Gordon Ramsay and Simon Cowell.
Yeah. Big time.
Straight, they woo,
Big
but
time.
Yes.
they are beyond popular. People actually listen to them because
Yes.
they also sell their brand as they're giving you the facts. So you may not
Mhm.
like the delivery, but
And
at
they
the end
and
of
they
Yeah.
know
the
they
day,
and
At
they
the
know
end
they
of the day,
stuff and they know they
mhm,
stuff. I see a lot of times you
yes.
have that there's not a balance there because you have people that's brash, and it's a couple of them I noticed on Clubhouse that they're brash and they're which it resonates with some people. But I hear a lot of stuff and I'm not even in their niche, and I'm like that don't
Mm-hmm.
even make sense to me. So I know that
right.
there's people out here that are in that particular niche. It's like what are they talking about? And when you look
Mhm,
at that, you brought back that family thing because a lot of times we do that, and I got a cold like thing with that with my family is early. I got to be a paper boy, and I was going to my family to sign up for the papers. Like back, I was like about 10, and none of my family members signed up for the paper route, and I got kind of hurt by that thing as a kid. I'm like, y'all supposed to be helping me, but you know what I started doing? I started to all of the neighbors that I did get. I started putting their papers like specifically in certain spots on their thing, and they
Mm-hmm.
started telling other people. Then my paper route blew up. So I got
mhm,
like an early understanding of that family just is just that family.
Yes. It's family.
They not no extra support. They not no extra pay. They not no extra income. They just what they are
Nope.
family. And like you say, your services. I think a lot of people really need to understand that your services. They don't know what you got. And more of fact, 9 times out of 10, when you go to your family with what you're doing, they don't want it.
They don't want it.
They don't
right.
want it.
But it's not even that they don't want it; they don't need it. Because a lot of
Yeah,
times,
need it too.
the things that we do in business, like most of my family, they don't need a website. They don't have a business. You really have to, you really have to put some things in
In
perspective.
perspective.
If
Yeah,
you're
Yes.
a coach who and your aim is to coach people who make $100,000 a month, if that's not your family member, why are you tight with them? Because that also means maybe their circle doesn't have those type of people. Now if your family is in that circle who can help bring you to those conversations, bring you to those tables, then you can say, well, hello, uncle, can I go to that next meeting? Because I got some pictures I want to make. Or can I go
Yeah.
to your golf game? Or can I do whatever? That's
Yeah.
when you have those type of conversations. But if you know your family and you know their circle, and their circle don't have the audience that you're aiming for, then why are you tight? It's also like don't use your family or don't use the friends um complaint level to skip the fact that you still need to market.
Yes.
yeah,
Still need to
Yes.
yeah.
get yourself out there. Don't use somebody
Yes.
else. Go and
Mhm.
get yourself out there. Ebony
Yeah.
had a question. I
Yes.
want to make sure I got that out there too. Are there better ways to create brand awareness based on what you offer or sell?
With social media is finding out where your crowd is, and this is why when I talk to them about audience, I tell them to get granular. I want you to get all the way down to the, does he cross to the left or to the right? Does he lean to the left or does he lean in the car? There are certain things that you know, and you have to go
Mhm.
and find those people, because the more people that are drawn to you, because you start talking to that particular person or that particular crowd. Try it out on Facebook, Instagram, try it on all the platforms. And where
Right.
you get the most engagement, you start to drop the one with the least engagement. Why are you still over here if nobody's checking for it and it's all over here? So my
Mhm.
thing is try all the platforms and get the right engagement. Change if you can talk about the same thing. If I can talk about branding 5 different ways on 5 different platforms, who's checking for it? It's why everybody's doing so much A/B testing. I'm old and I don't have time for BS. I'm not trying to A/B test everything. Sweetie, you get what you get with me. I'm sorry. I'm just that flavor. I promise you. But so many people are telling you to A/B test, and it's a great thing. If that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do. Try out your titles on LinkedIn. Try out your titles on YouTube. If you're a
Mhm.
video person like me, I need to talk about what I do, because, like you said early on, Carl, people have all these. Everybody out here is a brand coach, consultant, strategist, and all the things,
Mhm.
but you have to recognize that, okay, are they talking about as a graphic designer? Are they talking about as a SEO specialist? Are they talking about as a brand architect? And all of these different things, and is understanding that, do you even know what a brand architect does? Do you even know about your own brand architecture? Because all of those things come into play. But to get back to Ebony's question, is you have to try out the platforms to find out where they're checking for you. And you need to take advantage of the analytics that these platforms are offering you. If you're not looking at your analytics, because most of the people that follow me on Facebook and on Instagram are the 44 to 50 something year olds. I was like, dang, I'm 56 now. My crowd's not even following me as much, but those are the people that are checking for me. And so I know that, and then I know most of my crowd is coming from LA because I was born and raised in LA, so that does not shock me. But
Mm-hmm.
knowing that people in Philly and in New York and all of that stuff are also checking for me, so why would I send out, if I was going to do an ad on Facebook or Instagram? Why am I sending it global when I know these are the areas people are checking for me? Let me go ahead and send my ad in New York and in Philly and in LA and all of the places, because these are the people that say, you know what, I'm right here. I'm looking at your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you talking to everybody else? I'm trying to get you to tell me to come take my money. But you decided that you was gonna go advertise in Asia. Really? They ain't clicked not one heart on your stuff.
Well, wait, you got to be global. That's what they told me. Now you got to be global.
Okay,
Gotta be
but you
global.
have to grow global.
That.
You have to grow global. I'm not
Yeah,
saying don't be global,
I
but
got
I'm
you.
saying when you're marketing, we're talking
Yes,
about if you're putting out content and you decide to boost a post. Boosting it globally is ridiculous when you see that your crowd is right here, because your
absolutely.
reach begins to expand. Now you may have an opportunity where you can get a client internationally, but most of your clients are not coming from there. So why are you checking over there? Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I have a client right now from the UK, but do I market to the UK? No, totally different vibe. It was just by the grace of God that I got this woman, and I'm grateful for that. So I can now actually say that, I'm an international brand strategist. But why? Because as much as you talk, like I said, when you have that niche, when you know that everybody on Instagram is checking for you, even though you're only branding to this particular niche right here, sweetie, the world is still listening. That doesn't stop the world from listening. That doesn't stop you
Mhm.
from being global.
All right.
And so the people that is going to reach, they're going to reach you, because even though you're global, not all global countries speak your language.
That.
There, and sweetie, ghetto country is here in the U.S. as far as I know, and I've been all up and through. I'm in L.A. right now. I've been all up and through Compton lately, so it's been going to Watts Coffee House, then been down to Patria, and got on the Blue Line. I've been all up and through L.A. Okay, coming down through Compton, so I understand ghetto country. Like I said, my mama and them from the country. My mama from Texas, and
Mhm.
is all of these things, and how you represent yourself and how you start to put your brand out there, sweetie. Everybody's not checking for ghetto country, but trust and believe, when I go into rooms and with whether they're British or whatever, oh, I just love you, you remind me. Really? Okay, thank you. Because nobody Carl, stop laughing at me.
Carl resonating. His Chicago
Oh,
is resonate.
yo,
He
we
eat it up.
they look, my family like country, like country through from Mississippi, Alabama, came on up to Chicago, worked on the trains. You know how we do. We had to get up out the south and come on up north where they can let us be ourselves. So I'm digging that country flavor because they talked about my accent for years, for years. Boy, you just as country. And I was like, no, I was born in Chicago, but boy,
Thank you.
your grandmama and mama country, boy. This is somewhere in you. So
Yes.
I could go with that ghetto country because I grew up in the hood in Chicago and I was just
Yes.
as country. So we straight resonating with that.
There you go. Came from Texas, went over to Compton, right off Wilmington, and all the things. And I'm laughing at Martin. Talking about he gonna go start selling African prints to the Japanese.
See, Martin is also getting ready to say he want to contact you. I want to make sure
Yes,
that
Martin.
not only does Martin get in touch with you, but Phyllis, let the folks know how to reach you and what do you have coming up, because I know you talked about your intensive. Give them some
Yes.
insight on how to really connect with you on that.
You can definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. Send me a message and all the things. I have a master class coming up, which is just straight education on everything from the beginning to the end of your brand. Like, what does it mean to have a branded heart? How do you position yourself? And how do you begin to express yourself? And that is 6 weeks. And like I said, that starts on Saturday. So if you want to jump in, come on, jump in, because I'm not waiting for nobody. I don't care if it's 1 people or 10 people or whatever. I'm doing that one. And then my other one is my 12-week intensive. The 12-week intensive It's where you get all the knowledge, where we actually do homework. You come back and bring me all of your foolishness. And it's like, okay, let's get some clarity about this. Because stop. Because
Oh.
based on the questions I asked, some people really struggle with, like, when I ask them how do they serve their people, and you need to understand that what you do is not what you do. If that, and I'm gonna explain that to you, because you can say I sell insurance. Okay, that's what you do. But what you really do is you provide peace of mind. You provide families with something that is going to outlive, and that they can have their family financially set. You sell whatever. I don't sell insurance, so that don't make me no, never mind. Let me use my restaurant reference. But if you people think they sell food, but what you're selling is a night out to bond over a meal. What you're selling is you know what, I don't have to do dishes tonight. I don't have to clean the table. You know, I get to do something great for my family. You're doing all of those things, and if you pick one of them and that's what you market, then that's what's bringing them into the room. That's what's bringing them through the door, and those are all the things. And so it's not about what you do, but it's what you do. And I know y'all gonna remember that one. But stop saying that. You know what? I do this.
I wrote
No,
it
you
down
know what?
already.
He
What I
gonna help
do
you
is
make
I
them
help people
t-shirts.
brand from the heart.
Yeah, I'm into the merchandise. I'm
Yes,
fooling around. Next show you have me on.
yes. It's
I
like,
got on a God is dope today, but next shirt you have me on. I'm gonna have that across the front of my shirt. I'm gonna be branded.
there you go.
I like that foolishness too. I'll be like, where you going with that foolishness? I got to think of a quote because I'll write some stuff up. I got to think of a quote. Where you going with that foolishness? I think that's it. That's it. See, we got. Look, I'm the idea. I'm the idea king. Boy, I put it together. I put it together. So we
Oh
gonna
my
have we gonna
goodness.
have merch. We gonna have real talk merch, but we gonna have foolishness merch too. For y'all don't know what y'all doing with y'all brand.
Hey, they sure need it. Stop that foolishness. Come on, let's make this money.
That's
And
it.
that's the thing.
Exactly.
Let me end with this, because a lot of people, one of the things I did when I first started, and that's why I say it takes iterations. Um, the was the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's understand that this is why people can pull people so much, because they're pulling people who are trying to make money. So if you don't use money in some shape, form, and fashion, you got to find something that's going to make your target market thrive or survive. That after they have their basic needs met, they either have to survive or thrive. So
Yeah.
whatever you're bringing to the table, whatever you're bringing to the forefront, it has to help them operate on one of those levels. Everything else comes after that. That whole I'm gonna be a good person is way at the top. Right now, I'm just trying to make it. And you know what? And don't stop that I fake it till I make it nonsense. Do your stuff right and stop coming out raggedy. Oh God, y'all get on my nerves with that
I
foolishness.
don't. I still want to find out the person who started that slogan. Fake it
Oh,
till you
so
make
we
it.
can both whoop their butt. I got a
Yes,
belt hanging up in the
absolutely.
closet. I'll whoop your
Count
tail.
me in.
I
Count me in.
yes, I got the
I'll
old
set
big
their
belt with the
girls on
big
fire.
buckle. Yes, I got the
With the
belt I
holes
used to
in
get
it.
with the
Yes,
holes in it. When
yes.
it wrapped around and sucked meat through your skin.
Oh
Yes, they
yes.
need that kind of whooping. I'm saying because that fake it till you make it.
Woo.
That's about the most dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
Yes, yes. But it is when you do your marketing, like I said, me, it's not all about chasing money. It's about money chasing you. And you have to recognize what that means for you and your brand, and in learning how to market that to show up as your authentic self. And so, like I said, being authentic in your brand is not about you keeping it real. Know that there's a difference. I'm not. You're talking about vulnerability. To be vulnerable, you have to be transparent and you have to be authentic. You have to bring that level of game to it in order for it to work for you.
Yeah,
So when you're talking about, you know what, I'm gonna build a brand about around vulnerability. No, I'm not Brene Brown. I'm Carl Watkins, baby. Let me show you
that's
how I
something
do
else.
what I do.
And that's how I started it from the beginning because I had a lot of people coming at me with that. Because my first few posts, when I first delved into this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm going. First thing I said, Brene Brown can't teach me nothing about being vulnerable. And man, that first post, boy, I got people in my DMs. Who are you? Where you come from? Brene Brown been writing books, been researching. I
See,
said, yeah, and I'm 54 and I've been living it. So she can't do nothing, and I ain't got. I am the book. She read
there
me.
you
She
go.
she so yeah, I had that issue in the beginning. Now folks don't want to
Yeah,
talk that about me now. They thought I'm an angry
and
black
that,
man,
but see, you can fly your banner under that. You can.
and
Yes.
that's what
She
I
can't
do.
teach me nothing. And
She
you next
can't.
thing you know, Brene Brown might be calling you. Well, come on, let's talk about it.
Yeah, because I
And
want her
you,
book strategy. Now I do want to get on the bestsellers list. She got a good book strategy. That's about it.
like I said, start marketing yourself as an author right now. Before you
Hmm.
even write the book, start marketing yourself as an author. You know
Yes.
what?
Oh,
Tell people that you're writing and tell them what chapter you're on. Tell them what page you're
yeah,
on. Tell them how many
yeah,
words
yeah,
you did today.
yeah,
Start
yeah.
marketing yourself as a
Show 'em
writer.
my notebooks. I'm writing, y'all. I got plenty of them. 4 notebooks up here. Y'all better recognize I'm on here with the brand mama, baby. We getting it in.
And I'm just saying, as we close out the show, I'm just saying, Ebony, thank you. Ebony has
Yes,
been not
absolutely.
just helping out with giving some backup information, but she has been your truth teller, girl. She's been
True, girl.
she's been dropping
She
testimonials left and right in here,
Big time,
and
big
I'm
time,
loving it.
big time.
Ebony
Martin
is
called her
amazing.
your official hype
Your
person.
official
Oh
hype man.
yes,
She got Martin about to sign up for you in if you're your intensive.
I
He
think he's
about wait.
signing up for everything.
Ebony,
Oh man,
she
this is
is one of
real.
my greatest brand babies. I mean, to watch her whole story, and because people kept telling her Ebony likes to talk. She and her mind works is so amazing. She's an authenticity coach, and she's stepping in. Part of her strategy is stepping into being a thought leader, but the way her mind works is just so amazing. But it's when I met her, she had all these different programs, and she had all of these different things that she wanted to bring to the table. And it's like now she's down to three offers, y'all. She went from 30 to three
Nice.
offers. And how she's bringing it to the forefront, and how she's doing her think tank sessions, and how she knows, like, you know what, you like to talk, right? Well, everybody's telling me I have to be concise and I have to tone it down. And why? If your brand is about using your voice and all of your words and all of your greatness, why are you trying to be quiet? Because somebody
Yeah.
else told you to? No. And so she was able to take that and channel it. And it's like, okay, here's where I am. And I love her reference to, you know what, I'm a cross between Brene Brown and Cardi B. Her Ratchet Sage and I forgot her other one. She'll probably put in the chat. But her Ratchet Sage and her something, I don't know. But it's
Ooh.
just amazing to have that transformation of, you know what, this is who I thought I was, and now I'm over here. It's like my client who's the ethical strategist now. When I met her, she's like, oh well, I'm trying to brand as a VA. This chick got educated gang signs behind her name. As an attorney, she just started practicing attorney. But I'm like, really? So to go from a VA to being an ethical strategist and understand what that means for her now, those are the transformations you see when you brand
Yeah.
from 30 to 3. Okay,
For
because it's
33,
it's
I'm
all
loving
of
that.
the, yes, but it's all the things. It's when you understand your brand, you can do that. You can go from 30 to 3. You can go from I'm branding as a VA to actually this is what I want to do as an ethical strategist. It's all the things. Your brand will bring stuff out in you that you didn't even know that you were trying to do. And that's when you know you get branded AF, because that's what I talk about. Always get authentically branded AF. That's how I want you to show up. Because baby, you build a brand around you and then you let it resonate. You cause that ripple effect in how you collaborate, how you hire, and how you partner. For me, it's all about your soul, your space, and your speak. You brand from the soul. You create a space and you speak to your clients, to your fam. Because your clients and the people that you talk to, the people that is all your fam. It is not the people that you're blood tied to. Like you said earlier, it's not, these people are not checking for you. And then you try to give it to them for free. And it's like, okay, they go through whatever or buy whatever you're selling, but they still don't talk about it because they never needed it. It's like, okay, thank you. Stop giving away your value for free. Show that you're valuable by not giving your stuff away for free. Get branded AF and let's do this thing. So I
That
know we
part.
passed your time, so let me shut up.
Man, I'm telling
But
you, man.
Phyllis,
We ain't
because
even gonna even mention part two. You gonna have your own series. It's like
thank you for beating me,
we
Carl. Because
yeah,
yeah,
because he's like most of the time we we be hyper excited. We like, yeah, we gotta bring you on finish up part two. Child, we gonna have you on a weekly series. We gonna have to have Oprah them how they special guests come through. You go actually probably host the show when we on vacation or something. Because this is like we got
yeah,
to have the realness in there. I'm serious. I truly, truly, truly appreciate everything that you gave us today, man. I'm telling you, I've been full. No, I've been most of the time. I ain't been in the show for a couple of weeks. Been traveling, but man, this was a pick me up this morning, and it is. literally made my day. I think I'm going through the rest of the day with just knocking people over. Get up out my way. Get up out my way. That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm like, yo, if I'm working from home and ain't nobody here, I want to tell somebody, yo, come in, get out my way.
Well,
Let me move you to the
I just
side.
yes, I just want to say thank you again, Phyllis, so much. Like Carl said, we're gonna definitely connect with you again. I do like that idea of you coming back. Just keep on coming on here
Yeah, yeah.
and
My,
chat because these folks need to get their whole brand life
yeah,
together.
I'm
Um,
telling you.
Make
I
Yeah.
your
need an
life a whole
audit.
lot easier, huh?
Yes, I
Yes.
need an audit, so I will be hitting you up so I can go through the motions and get it and figure out what how I can tighten up because when you look at yourself because you
Yeah.
do it
Yes.
too, you tend to be blinded. So I need
Yes.
somebody else who can step in on that. So I appreciate
Not a
you
Yeah,
problem.
as always.
we gonna be hooking up with you. I know we gonna be hooking up in more ways than one. Cause I got book of notes here, and I ain't even I'm not gonna even share everything with y'all. I just been writing. Y'all to see my little head to the side. I've been taking notes because I'm attentive that way. I need to take stuff to move me forward, and you gave a bunch of stuff today, so I can just
You
imagine what your intensive is. Cause this was intense.
okay?
This real talk was
You
intensive.
you see what Martin's saying multiple times.
Yeah, Martin got
So,
a book in here. Martin got a book of comments, man. Yo, this is intensive. This little hour was intensive, boy. That 12 weeks, boy, it might be like I
Yeah.
was in the
12
army.
weeks.
That might be
I'm
some boot
telling
camp
you.
for me.
yes, and I felt it when we were at the halfway mark. I was like, wow, we only halfway in. Look at this.
Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
we
But
shining.
I know we have another call to jump on because Chris
Yes,
Doe
Yes.
is another powerhouse
Yes.
that
yeah,
he's doing his own free challenge. I will actually talk about that on the Thursday show because that
Okay.
that this challenge is something serious, and
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
interested in it. He got you thinking differently, and it's really things that he's always told us about, but he's doing
Yes.
like that step by step breakdown. So I'm loving it.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah, because we were both part of the pro group, and that whole thing with him, that's a game changer right there too. And you do not have to be a creative to be in it. Just so y'all know,
yes,
anybody can.
Facts.
And I'm not trying to hype up the pro group, but trust and believe, it will change your life on some level.
and
Even
he
if
is
you only
he,
come for a month, there is so much content and so
yeah,
much value there that it
hmm,
is so worth it. So
Yes, he's my
that's
spirit
all the thing.
animal, and he's not an animal, but he's my spirit animal.
yeah, cause he ain't no
Martin
joke,
is
man. I,
funny.
I I see I didn't I signed up with him and I signed on his Instagram and I get his stuff when he's talking. And man, he
Hmm.
just come across like he's just unassuming when you see him. But dude is
I
like
got to
straight.
meet him
Yes,
yesterday.
Oh, you
Since
did?
I'm in
Oh my
LA,
God.
yes, I got to meet him yesterday.
That dude, he's like
Because he
straight
nice.
did
power.
oh my God. And girl, your show was over. Come on. We got to go jump on
Oh
this
yeah.
other call.
Okay. Bye y'all. Bye y'all.
Please, y'all come back next. Y'all come back Thursday. We have some more for you. All right.
Oh
Bye,
snap.
Martin. It was nice virtually meeting you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.